Hey, everybody. As you can hear, I'm currently infected with the Coof. I caught the commie flu. And I'm joined by my friend Reckless Trucker. How are you doing?
Hey peoples, I'm doing fine. I'm good.
Yeah.
I did not catch the coof, but I am hungover.
Uh yeah. Got I've been infected with all this communism, man. I don't like it.
It's gotten
Communism
to you.
has been giving me headaches. It's kind of and it gives me a relentless cough.
Right, man? Nah, man, COVID can be a bitch to catch.
I don't know where I caught it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
must
there's
have
no
caught it from
telling.
somewhere. But as as a result of catching this commie bug, I no longer support a free Hong Kong and independent Taiwan, and I no longer believe that anything happened on June 4th, 1989.
They've gotten to them, people. We got to snap them out of the brainwashing.
Yeah, I know, man, but I got this commie viruses all over me, so I can't help myself. I don't know why I ever believed anything otherwise.
Don't get close to them. You'll catch the communism too.
Yes, Xi Jinping must own the means of production.
Right?
Yes. That's what communism is, right? It's when Xi Jinping controls the world.
Right. That is the funniest thing to me. Is like every communist is like, "Oh, we're such good people." No, they're not.
No,
Every time they get power.
no, communist powers all tend to be shitholes. Uh, they all tend to be oppressive as hell.
Right. No, it's so funny to me too. Like, you remember that article a few years back that pointed out how one of the worst things for the world environment was the Soviet Union, and all the communists got so mad.
Yeah. Well, with me though, like the first couple of days I had chills and like a headache, but for the last couple of days, I pretty much just had a cough, and that's it. I found out after Christmas I had COVID, which is bad because I'm worried uh, I may have infected a couple relatives of mine by
Well,
accident.
for the most part, I'm sure they'll be fine. I mean, it
I hope
sounds
so.
more like you got the Omicron version,
Probably.
and the Omicron version is basically a cold.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel like I've had worse flus in my life, so it's not like the worst thing ever, but it's still like a pain in the ass. Particularly because I've been stuck in quarantine. I've been stuck in my house. I can't go to the bar. I can't go to the gym. I can't go to work. I'm stuck here, and it's kind of had me wigging out.
Yeah, no, it's gotta suck to be stuck in there, man. But yeah, when I caught it, I just didn't care other than having another way to get groceries. I still went to like family and stuff. They knew. But all my
Yeah.
family that lives around me is really young.
Uh huh. Yeah, my parents have already had it, so they're fine. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll probably. How old are they?
They're in their early 60s.
All right. So, and they already got it and we're fine.
Yeah, they're fine.
That's good. They probably won't get a deadly version a second time.
No, very, 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 very unlikely. But I assumed I already had it and was like asymptomatic or something because I've been around COVID positive people so often. So I assumed I was just kind of like immune. But
Oh,
then I started coughing right now. I heard
hey,
like we've
one second.
registered the
One second.
highest number of
Girl,
COVID
come here.
cases.
Girl. One second. Girl, come here. Sorry, my dog's barking at the ice cream truck.
Ice cream truck this time of year.
I live in South Texas, man. It ain't
Oh
even
yeah,
got
oh
cold
that's
yet.
right. Yeah.
Well, really, it's the food truck, but they got ice cream.
Ah.
I love Mexican food trucks, man.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. What were you saying about? Ugh.
I'm saying I thought I like had it earlier one time and got over it, but I was never like tested. This is like the first time I've like been tested and like confirmed that I was positive with the commie flu.
Right. I recently had it actually a couple months ago, and I only found out. So that would be the second time I caught it. I only found out because I was doing a drug screen for my job, and they asked if I wanted to do a COVID test because it would give that company money, and it was free, and it was just a mouth swab, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out I had it and was asymptomatic. But that was the
Nice.
second time I had it. So first time I had it, it kicked my ass.
Sometimes you can catch it like a second time, but it'll be like it'll be so mild you won't even notice it.
Dude, I literally didn't know I had it or was sick at all. I
Right.
guess technically, you know. But first time I had it, it kicked my butt for like 3 days. I was sitting and rolling in the bed of the truck, just passed out for 3 days.
Nice. Yeah, it can be nasty. It's definitely no fun.
Yeah, but with your symptoms, it seems like this is probably the first time you caught it somehow.
Probably, yeah. Like the first couple of days, I had like chills and I had a headache. It was really unfun.
Are you vaccinated?
No,
Well, fair enough.
I didn't bother. Mostly just out of laziness.
Same.
It's
I
not
saw
because
those.
I like oppose the vaccine or anything. I don't. I'm pro-vaccine. I just really didn't care if I caught it or not.
I haven't had a flu vaccine in 5 years,
Yeah,
but
me
that's
neither.
just because I keep forgetting to go.
Yeah, same with me. I mean, like I was at the doctor's office a couple times and I was expecting them to offer me a vaccine, but they never did. So I was like, whatever.
Yeah. No, I should be getting flu vaccines and stuff though, because my best friend's mom, she's immunocompromised. She's got like all the cancer,
Uh,
but also she doesn't even go to doctor's appointments anymore when it comes to the cancer,
oh shit.
because in her own words, just waiting to die.
Yeah. But
Where's the phlegm coming from on this one? Like, is it back of the throat, deep down there, phlegm, or is it like right around the top of your throat?
I can't really tell. Sometimes it feels like it's actually coming deep down.
Yeah. Or is it just mostly dry with some phlegm?
It's mostly dry with some phlegm.
Yeah,
I tend to get acid reflux sometimes, so when I first got it, I assumed that's all it was.
yeah, it's probably from all the coughing. Doesn't help that.
No, not at all.
No, when I had it, that was one of the few times I had acid reflux because I coughed so much.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I coughed so much I was like making myself like almost throw up and stuff.
Yeah.
That was awful. But yeah, but anyway, happier subjects. I watched the Dune movie.
Good. What'd you think of it?
I really liked it. I really did. And I really liked the way the Fremen were portrayed in this one.
I did too. Well, they actually got to be a culture in this one, even though I assume we'll see much more of them in part two. But even in part one, we got to see more of them as a culture than we ever got in the David Lynch movie.
Well, in the David Lynch movie, they were just like there, and that was it. And it's like,
yeah, they weren't a culture in the David Lynch movie. They were just a prop for Paul.
Right. But also what I really liked was the extreme amount of like ethnic variance amongst them. Because if you read the books, you know that's actually the case with them.
Yeah.
They're like the most genetically mixed up people in the world.
Right. So
And they go all the way from being like slightly white looking Arab to dark black.
right. You saw that in this movie.
Yeah, that was nice because like
Which is a good example where how Hollywood's weird diversity fetish at least lined up with the source material this time, so it's all cool.
that's why they couldn't fuck it. That's why they weren't able to stick their junk in it so much.
Right, except for them changing kinds as gender, which I still don't think they needed to do that.
I don't think they needed to either, but I think the producer did that as like, a sacrificial lamb to the altar of Hollywood.
Yeah, I guess. And the actress they got, I mean, she did a nice job with the role. I mean, still, and other than being the wrong gender, kind of still followed the character in the book pretty closely.
Oh yeah. The only I was talking with DarkCon about this. The only issue is that Shari's family is the family of handmaids to the Great Mother.
Huh?
And so gender bending Leah Kynes would mean that they're not the handmaids to the Great Mother. But
Okay.
that's only going to pop up like in deep lore discussions. So I understand them doing that.
Yeah, which they probably won't ever get to. But Denis Villeneuve, he wants to make both part 2, and he also wants to make a third one adapting Dune Messiah if he gets that far.
Dude, I'd really hope that they end up going as far as they can with that because this dude really does seem to care about it.
Oh, definitely. It definitely seemed like something that was made by someone who genuinely loved the book.
Right, and I really loved the way the worms looked, man.
Yeah, they only get like 2-3 minutes of screen time in the movie, but they were impactful.
Oh yeah, well that's how it was until like the very end of the first couple
Well, I
books.
assume the part 2 they'll have a lot more screen time.
Yeah, I wonder how they're gonna be able to do the writing the worm thing because like the sci-fi miniseries did it and like it was off screen and funny,
And the sci-fi miniseries though, it came out in the year 2000 with a small budget. With a big screen budget and like all the effects improvements they've made since then, they can do it so much better.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see it. It's
like the sci-fi miniseries was done in just a shoestring budget. They just that was as good as they could do with the cash they had.
right. And they did a great job. You could tell whoever worked on that actually really liked Dune.
Oh yeah, it was a pretty decent adaptation, but you can tell they were stretching their dollars out.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't,
especially when the worms showed up. Especially
oh yeah, the
which is really
CGI
sad.
don't hold up too well.
Yeah, which is really sad because that's one of those things that you really should have just dumped all your money into.
Well, they only had $20 million. It's not a lot of cash. It's basically it's just the TV budget.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
Dude,
a season of, like for example, like I think season 6 of Star Trek: The Next Generation was made for about $50 million, and they only managed to like stretch it out to them. To that much because they often reused ship shots throughout the season.
Right.
So whereas here they couldn't really do that. They had to build more assets.
Hey,
So they had a lot to do in a shorter period. Yeah. Darkon, just drop in for a minute.
Oh, Darkon's here?
He's in the chat, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's in the chat.
Did you see the CW superhero verse?
No.
When they did the Flashpoint arc?
No, I haven't watched any of that shit.
Well, the Flashpoint arc they did really good. Only part of it because it basically every superhero verse show they have did like 2 episodes of the story. Only one I didn't watch was the Batwoman one, just because I refused to watch that.
Yeah, it looks so bad. I've heard people saying it's like the worst thing ever, and I have no reason to not believe them.
Well, it's funny to me if somebody pointed this out. There's a Batman porn parody where the outfits look better. No, and this was said on Twitter, and apparently the producer responded, and he actually of the porn, and he actually said, "That's because I care about the source material."
Hey, we can assume Batman will be fucking in the source material, so it can be like comic book faithful in your porn parody.
I just love that the dude who made a porno was more respectful to the source material than the people who made the show.
It's sadly not too surprising, given a lot of the quacks that run modern Hollywood. I mean, there's a few like really talented people like Denis Villeneuve and Chris Nolan and what have you, but there's so many just complete hacks that I don't know how we're just famous for being famous, who just have no business holding a movie camera.
It's become its like own aristocratic dynasty where everybody, girl, calm down. You're going inside. Where everybody's like sort of related to each other, and that's how they get roles, and that's how they get producing jobs and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm going to mute myself for 1 second, man. I can still listen to you, but the girl's acting up. She doesn't like this neighbor guy's friend, I guess.
Oh.
Gotta get her inside.
Well, I was just saying that like some of the people that like just have no business. Like, how the hell does M. Night Shyamalan get to keep on making movies, for example?
Well, he did make some good ones early on. What was it? Unbreakable was really good. You seen that?
Yeah, but like some of the I haven't seen his most recent ones, but after Earth, I just am like I'm done with this asshole.
Oh, he did After Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, After Earth. Then what was that one where like the ones where the plants are killing you, and those ones too? Those were awful.
Oh, that'd be the Happening. That movie's beyond parody.
Right, and I love how like they managed to get
even Mark Wahlberg admitted he shouldn't have been in it. Was it Mark Wahlberg's quote on that movie was awesome. He said, "The Happening, fuck it. It is what it is. Fucking trees, man. The plants. Fuck it."
No, I love how they managed to get two really like big name actors. They got Mark Wahlberg and what's her name, and like you could tell those two had no direction from M. Night Shyamalan. Like he didn't give them inspiration or nothing.
Oh, look! Some of the behind the scenes videos on that are hilarious because, like, Mark Wahlberg's kind of like questioning the logic of Shyamalan's direction. Like, why would my character be doing this? Why do and Shyamalan just doesn't have a fucking clue. It's amazing.
Shyamalan's just like, look, I'm the director, man.
Honestly, M. Night Shyamalan's a fuking idiot.
He can do stuff. Oh God, remember he did
Land of the Lost? Not one bit. Fuck that movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say, remember he did The Last Airbender?
Oh yeah, that was garbage.
That one was bad. That was that right there should have got him kicked out of Hollywood forever. But he did do Split relatively recently, and Split was really good. I liked it.
Hi guys.
Okay. And you know who? Hey, Darkon. You know who else should never be allowed to hold a movie camera again? Shane Black, after that abomination of the last Predator movie.
Oh, I cannot believe Shane Black was involved in the original Predator and managed to destroy its legacy so thoroughly.
That movie was a disgrace. It was so bad. I was genuinely. It really comes across like it was written by morons.
It comes across like it was written by morons who were actively seeking to destroy the legacy of Predator.
It seemed that way too, because it tried to go after everything that made the Predator cool. Now the Predator is no longer just a hunter. It's like has this stupid scheme to like steal autism. Fuck this movie.
And he's a dumbass, brutish meathead instead of a cunning and sneaky brute.
Right.
No, I love that one scene where like he's fighting with the kid to keep the invisibility cloaking on his ship, and it's like, yep, this is what the Predator's been reduced to. Internet troll battles with kids.
Yeah.
Apparently, the original and maybe even the sequel Predators were on Hulu for a time, and I feel bad that I did not exploit the opportunity to watch those because they immediately removed them. Hulu would bring up these classic movies, put them on their catalog for a month or something like that, and immediately remove them after that, it seems.
That's probably all they can afford the licensing for. Like,
I mean, I got the original. I got like the first 3 Predator movies on Ultra HD Blu-ray, and they're all awesome.
what was the third Predator movie? I forget.
It's the one with what's his face, the guy who played as Machete.
Yeah.
Right.
Danny Trejo, he's in it briefly, but he's not the star. Like Adrian Brody's the star. And the actual one was actually really good. What I liked about it is the title is Predators, and I like that the word Predators has a double meaning in it. It refers to both the monsters and our human characters, as it implies that like all of them were kidnapped and sent to this planet because they're kind of like the scumbags and predators of society.
I like that one. Like a lot of people hated that one. I thought that was a well done expansion of the Predator lore because it kept them as hunters.
Yeah.
But it also expanded what they do.
Yeah, the thing that kind of disappointed me about it a little bit is I guess that some of the side characters seemed like that they were underused and squandered, like Mark Fishburne for a bit. But yeah, I did not think it was outright bad though. Personally.
No, and I loved how they the Spider-Man guy, that 70s show kid, his character was creepy as fuck.
Oh yeah, I really liked a Topher Grace twist. He has the best line. I love when he says that, back at home, I'm a murderer, I'm a freak. But out here, among the monsters, I'm normal.
Right. Is that the jail inmate guy? The guy who was
like a doctor psychopath.
Yeah, he's like a psychopathic doctor.
Oh, okay. The wormy guy.
A great line. So that's an underrated movie. It really is.
And I love it.
Oh, that ass. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Darkon.
I was just rolling by and I noticed that there was a good-looking ass, but I was getting
always a good thing to admire, but
horny, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. What I was saying was I was getting the guy that you're talking about actually loudmouth confused with the jail inmate guy who just said at one point, "Pull on this dick, bitch!" Then he gets his skull and spine ripped out of his torso.
Yeah. Well,
no, and
then 8 years after that, we got Shane Black's The Predator, which I genuinely, it's an incomprehensible movie. It is one of the worst things I've ever watched in my life.
It is so bad it twists back around to being impressive.
Yeah, really. So, when those predator dogs are sent after them and they like shoot it until it like starts behaving like a regular dog, I'm like, was this made for adults? It comes across like I'm watching an R-rated children's movie.
They lobotomized a predator dog into retardation. Like, what the hell?
You know what also feels like an R-rated children's movie?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, you know what else it feels like an R-rated children's movie?
Nah, man, what?
Chappie.
Chappie is also awful.
Yeah. It was pretty forgettable.
Chappie, you're like my son, man. Like, dude, he's a freaking robot. You could literally reprogram a new one.
It was way too cheesy for me to truly get invested in. And plus, it was too violent and potty mouth for children to be allowed to watch. I can't remember there being any character that really stuck out as far as quality goes. I guess Hugh Jackman's character was kind of cool. But
you know what was the worst movie though that I've seen? Like one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
But
Wonder Woman 1984. That was awful.
Honestly, I like that at least better than Chappie. Anyways, the plot of it is absolutely dumb, and it just hinges on such petty childishness of people wishing for things, and then they have to trade off the best feature about them in order to get that wish. But at least I at least liked some of the action sequences in it. Like I like the one part of when that Wonder Woman, she's like on foot and just chasing the convoy of military vehicles, and then the boyfriend, whatever his name actually is just going full on Indiana Jones on the bad guys as he's crawling on the vehicles instead. I thought that was kind of cool. And plus,
No, the action scenes were decent, but what I mean is like,
what was it like being at Turning Point when Rittenhouse is on stage?
oh yeah,
it was awesome. He was like the number one most appreciated of all the guests. Honestly, like I don't think any one of the guests got as much of an applause from the entirety of the crowd as much as Rittenhouse did, because everyone else was either a politician or a political pundit, and so you know how they are. Some of them, in some fashion or another, will come off as less grounded than your average Joe, except for probably Nick Vujicic, who isn't technically a pundit. You know who Nick Vujicic is, right?
Nah.
he has a funny sounding name.
That's the guy who was born without arms or legs.
Oh.
He spoke there.
I haven't seen him. Send me one of his videos or something.
Sure. And he was probably like my second most favorite speaker, second place to that of Kyle Rittenhouse, and mostly because them two were the most grounded. I mean, it's not like Dennis Prager and Charlie Kirk on occasion impressed me more than I originally thought that they were going to. What else was I going to say? People were just needlessly outraged at Ted Cruz when he was all like, I advise people to get vaccinated. Like that's just an attitude that I really don't get, is that some actors on the right, they just want to completely alienate and make enemies of any right winger who is even slightly encouraging of the vaccines, taking the vaccine themselves. But at the same time, they're also against the mandates.
Yeah. No, those are the people that
mandates is fine, but vaccines are good. Okay, they help reduce infection. They're a good thing.
You're a cock, loudmouth.
Hey,
you're a cock. You're controlled opposition.
Psyops, man. No, you're absolutely right. And that comes from the right wingers who have fallen into the culture war too hard. And it's like, guys, like we do need to do a culture war thing here, but you can't be doing it to where like you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yes. Yeah, you cannot get so invested in the culture war to where that you turn the right wing into a circular firing squad.
Right. I mean, just because Biden's for the vaccine does not mean the vaccine is bad.
Well, I point out to people all the time, like, you guys realize Trump funded it, and Trump's really personally proud of it.
Right.
Like, he takes a lot of personal pride in that.
You know what? I wonder if that's going to be the. I wonder if that's going to be the
triggered reactions to leftists who are angry that Kyle Rittenhouse is a star and he's so famous now. But I'm like, you guys made him famous. If you guys had just left the kid the fuck alone, he wouldn't be so famous.
They should have learned their lesson from Nick Sandman. Instead, they didn't, and now they got Nick Sandman on super steroids.
Right. I mean, they're the ones who put this kid, who charged this kid with absolute BS charges that obviously didn't stick, and who spent like a year slandering him in the media as like a white supremacist, and that he crossed state lines.
State lines.
State lines.
I love how the leftists are like literally anti-borders until somebody saves their own life. Like, what the fuck?
Wow. Yeah.
But
what was I gonna say? There was some other point that I was I wonder if the whole vaccine issue is going to be the make or break issue on whether or not that Donald Trump, or as to whether or not there will be as much of a cult of personality around Trump, because he's like turning off some of his supporters just because he advocates that people voluntarily get the vaccine.
I don't think that it's going to be a make or break for him, because on one hand, who are you going to go to? Biden? Good luck, buddies. And the other part is right. And like after that, who are you going to go to? Like Dan Crenshaw? The dude's too young and inexperienced. Like, he's a good He's a good what's the word?
They
He's like
probably
a
go to
good,
Ron DeSantis, maybe.
yeah. Well, that I'd be happy with. I like Ron DeSantis. He's a bit young, inexperienced though, because he's only been there since Trump. But then again, Trump has only been in politics since Trump. So since
You know, that's the one thing that kind of annoyed me about AmFest was of how much of a to put it quite bluntly, cult of personality there was around Trump. Like um, Matt Gaetz was kind of unsubstantive when he was speaking on his in his portion. He was just going on about wouldn't it be great if we had this person in this position and this other person in this position, which I do not know of how much I would disagree or agree. But there was one girl, like the one girl with the big boobs and the bit of cleavage. She was going on about how that Trump deserves to be back in the White House.
I do not
Come
know who we're talking
2024.
about. I'm gonna see this chick.
It was some last minute to be announced congresswoman, I think.
Oh, but now I'm even more interested.
I think Marjorie Taylor Greene was going on about how Trump is like pretty much the only one able to run for president and actually win the presidency in 2024 as well. And I just, I kind of think that Trump is spent at this point. I don't necessarily want him to run again in 2024, really.
Yeah, I feel you there. Well, also he's
Not
gonna
that
be old. Like he might be freakishly healthy for somebody who literally never exercises and eats fast food. But like my great grandma lived to be 100 years old every single day, whiskey and cigarettes. But but he'll be too old. He needs to basically retire and become like Obama in a way, a kingmaker.
I think his ego's
Sure.
preventing him from doing that.
Agreed. No,
you
yeah.
see him running for president in 2024, Loudmouth?
Yeah.
He really might, but also I think he might be getting. Gotta remember that he's surprisingly smart. I think he's getting people hyped for him, so that way he makes an endorsement later on, and people are hyped on him, so they get hyped on his endorsement.
Mm.
If I was him, that's what I would be doing, simply because getting too old for this shit.
Right.
Probably.
We mentioned. Was there something more that we want to talk about this? Otherwise, I was going to talk about movies again.
I mostly I'm straying because I'm infected with the commie bug. In this,
Yeah.
I was talking about how dealing with the effects of the commie flu. Like I've been constantly having these delusions in my past that something may have happened on June 4th, 1989, but thanks to the commie flu, I no longer have any such delusions. Anything happened on that date.
Oh my God! Hold him down. Beat him with a Thomas Sowell book.
So I guess they were putting nanotechnology in with commie flu.
Yes,
Right.
I also think that the virus clearly did not originate in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. There was no gain of function research. Yes.
Clearly a pangolin and a bat had a baby. All right. Yeah. That's clearly what happened.
I guess there is a couple more things I want to mention about AmFest. One, Phoenix, Arizona, pretty beautiful city. Although somebody made the comment that when it's summer.
You're right.
I'm fine.
Although somebody made the comment that in the summertime it smells like fecal matter there. So I don't know how that is, but I came there in the winter and it was pretty cool. What?
It does have a smell in the summer because everything's hot and muggy and burnt.
Right. And I also got a picture with Abby Johnson.
Who's Abby Johnson?
She's a pro-life activist.
Yeah, I probably know who she is. Just
you ever watch the movie Unplanned?
Yes.
No.
That movie was about her.
Oh, is she the one that used to be a Planned Parenthood doctor?
Yeah. He used to have been not a doctor, but a director of a Planned Parenthood facility. Yeah, and then she became pro-life and got in a whole legal case with Planned Parenthood, and she actually ended up speaking at the event. Which honestly, I remember like seeing her in one of the in a congressional hearing or something, and no offense to her, but she looked a little bit more heavy set during that. But for this event, she looked like she lost weight, trimmed up a bit.
You
Just saying.
Why she changed her mind on being pro-abortion?
Because she witnessed it firsthand, and it got to her moral compass.
She witnessed it with the doctor doing it with that thing where you can see the baby inside the belly. We call that.
Yeah, the one baby getting sucked out with the tube.
Yeah, she watched an ultrasound video of it happening to the baby, and it freaking traumatized her.
Right.
She was there in the office watching it while it was happening. Could you imagine? And like she's got to feel guilt every day knowing she didn't do anything to stop it while watching it.
Probably, yeah. And me and my siblings got a picture with her, which if I was to ever share a picture in a public sphere or whatnot, I'd have to probably black out their faces.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I went to, sorry?
Yeah. No, man, I tell you, what little publicity I got, I had people trying to find out my family and threaten them and shit. And that was
what
weird.
The fuck?
Yeah, it was fucking. Then again, I'm a lot more of a firebrand than you are. I'm way more.
A little bit, but I'm surprised that I haven't gotten anybody getting any ideas for that sort of bullshit. With seeing as how that my channel is like 5 times bigger than yours.
Right.
And no, I'm just kind of small enough that no one gives a shit about me.
Well, I like your channel. You like that I like that you're in this space, but you're mainly like a movie and culture guy.
Yeah.
We need people like you, man.
And no, what was it when I was I was watching like when Rittenhouse was on stage. It was awesome having like girls screaming his name. So all you need to do, remember, all you need to do, fellas, to to become a star is go to a protest and hope a pedophile attacks you.
Dude, coolest thing about this Kyle Rittenhouse shit is I was at a pawn shop recently looking at guns, for example, right?
Yeah.
And one of the people behind the counter asked me about it. I look him dead in the eye, like he just asked me about my opinion about it. Like you could tell he was being tepid, right? He was being a bit shy about asking it, but he wanted to. Yeah, and he was like, I just told him dead ass, like, look, man, he killed a pedophile. I don't care what the context is. That makes him a hero. And him and 2 other people behind the counter were like, amen, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
a pedophile, and like some creep who like held his family hostage and assaulted his grandmother, and then the last guy was like a burglar and a communist.
Right. No, and like one thing I appreciate about the Kyle Rittenhouse thing is it's making people realize we can agree on this much at least for most real people who touch grass and shit. You know? Oh, hello?
What was that?
No, I still hear you.
Yeah, I said good thing about the Kyle Rittenhouse case is like for the real people in the world who actually go outside and touch grass and shit, but are getting bogged down by this culture war stuff, it made them realize, we may have our disagreements, but we can at least agree on this one.
Brad, I heard you say essentially that. I was just thinking for a second there, and so it was a moment of dead silence.
But you know what I mean? So in a way, he's bringing people in the middle together, and that's a good thing.
I see Kyle Rittenhouse. He's like the one ant that stood up against the grasshoppers.
Right. And
I actually have this one personal friend who primarily on Facebook on sharing a few posts that are essentially anti-Rittenhouse. Honestly, it should probably be a whole lot more stringent with her, and just bluntly be all like, have you even seen the footage? Have you ever even looked into the case? Instead of just getting, I don't know, doing of what is trendy and sharing memes that are vague and omitting some facts of the case.
No, dude, I feel you there, but I would also say this much. I'd say the best way to handle that, if you want to keep them as a friend, you want to guarantee keep them as a friend, is just send them like one of yours or an AJW video on the matter. Just tell them, look, not going to discuss it further, but you're wrong.
What was this kid supposed to do? Just let this pedophile have his way with him?
Right. Maybe I should ask her if she watched the Abba and Preach video that I sent her. I mean, Abba did not exactly go breaking down the case, but he's in no ways really a right-winger. He's more of a centrist, if anything. But honestly, just overall has more beliefs in line with her than I do. And he is of the camp that he is ultimately innocent. And he thinks that the crying was legitimate, by the way. Because people straight up ask him the question, do you think he's fake crying? And he's all like, that dude is an ugly crier. Like, if he is faking it, then give him an Oscar for that.
Honestly, though, it shouldn't even matter. Why should he cry for the 3 shitbags he shot? I mean, all 3 of them were scumbags who deserved it. They all tried to kill him. They all were dirty criminals.
I agree with you absolutely, man. But from his point of view, it had to be traumatic to kill people, even because he didn't know that in the moment.
No,
and even though he knew it was justified, it's still got to be traumatic in the moment, even if it's justified. Because
definitely had to be a powerful moment. He did have to gun a man down. He had no choice.
I can say I can happily, and thank God I can say that I've never had to pull the trigger on somebody.
Right. Yeah.
I won't hesitate to if I have to. I don't think I would, but God, I don't want to.
No, I totally understand why that would traumatize him. I'm just saying when people are chastising him, saying he should have more remorse, I'm like, he really shouldn't, because he really didn't do anything to be remorseful for.
No, and well,
all right.
The other part of it was, I think it was an outright attempt by the media to undermine people's self-defense rights, not through legal means, but through demoralization.
It was definitely Binger's intent.
Yeah, Binger.
That shitbag.
Yeah, did you guys listen to Binger's post interview with
he wouldn't have.
I listened to Sitch and Adams' review of it, and they had some lawyer, some law channel guy on with them, and immediately he said that if somebody had killed Rittenhouse, we wouldn't have prosecuted.
That blows my mind that he actually said that. How does that make any legal sense that that Rittenhouse firing on a guy who was charging at him, trying to reach for his gun, is not self-defense, but a Gage running up, chasing a guy and pointing a pistol at his head is? How does that make any sense?
Dude, straight up though, if he hasn't lost the bar for his behavior during the court case, that should make him lose the bar, because it would be it's bad behavior on the lawyer's part. They have a way of phrasing that, but
absolute insanity. He also claimed that two people cannot have an equal right to self-defense, but that's flat out not true. A good example of the whole Breonna Taylor case, for example, both the cops who fired on her and Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, even though they both fired their guns at each other, neither were arrested and charged with it, because it was determined that given the situation, that both had equal right to self-defense. Breonna Taylor's boyfriend had the right to fire under Castle Doctrine, and the cops had the right to fire because they were serving a legal warrant, and he opened fire, and they had a right to return fire. So under this circumstance, both had an equal right to self-defense. That is the case.
Right. Well, the law is specifically reasonable fear for one's life, and two people could be reasonably fearful of each other.
Yeah, so
You know?
Binger's claimed that this is supposedly from a seasoned attorney, yet he claimed that two people cannot have an equal right to self-defense, and that's just not true.
No.
I don't know
A guy who possesses a gun cannot have a right to self-defense at all.
According to him,
I
which
saw
is
him.
utterly insane. The guy, I can't tell if he's genuinely a moron or just a pathological liar.
I think he's just so mired in the politics of it.
Might be I think it's the latter, loudmouth. But then again, he is a dumbass at covering his bullshit, so probably a little bit of the former as well. But we can definitely agree that there are like two bigger idiots than Binger, that being Gage Grosskreutz and his former roommate Jacob Marshall.
Oh yeah, well, Gage Grosskreutz, oh man, is he a fucking retard? God damn! How does that guy avoid drowning in a rainstorm?
Dude, I love that he went on an interview on like CNN or something like the next day after giving that absolute bombshell, horrible testimony. Horrible for him, testimony.
Yeah.
And then he basically said on national television, yeah, I lied, but I lied in a way that makes Kyle look good. It's like, dude, nobody's going to do that, you idiot.
Yeah, they got him to admit on the freaking court bench that he lied to the police. And then
you know what's one?
God,
no. He said his testimony in court about Kyle not shooting him until he pointed a gun at his head. He said that was a lie. That he lied and said that. And it's like,
it's not illegal to lie on CNN, but it is illegal to lie under oath in a court. Okay. And I guess he's not that stupid that he knew he couldn't get away with that lie in the court.
Right. And, he's not the one being charged, so he doesn't really have a Fifth Amendment right in the matter.
You know what's one of the Facebook posts that I came across that was anti-Rittenhouse that made this one claim that makes me really want to call horse shit on is, okay, this guy was supposedly a military lawyer of some sorts, and he makes one particular claim. Well, first of all, he says that he shouldn't have even had the gun in the first place, and this is after Bruce Schroeder had dropped that charge because of the technicality that the rifle was slightly longer than what would have got Kyle in trouble for the gun possession. But not only that, but also the one claim that makes me want to claim or call even more bullshit, excuse me, is the one claim where he said, if you commit a crime, you do not have the right to self-defense. So I guess that means that if you've committed petty theft and then immediately afterwards you are getting raped and you kill that guy in self-defense, apparently you did not have self-defense rights, and then not only are you getting charged as a thief, but you're also getting charged as a murderer too, apparently.
I guess so.
But yeah, I seriously doubt that claim, though. As soon as you commit a crime that might be a minor crime, more specifically, you lose your rights to self-defense.
That's false. That's flat out false. But it is true. Like if you instigate an incident, you can actually lose the right to self-defense unless you demonstrated you tried to remove yourself from it. Then you could possibly regain the right to self-defense, even if you were the instigator.
Right.
There is
in that
kind
case,
of a precedent there. But what is it? Not only did Kyle never instigate anything, but he also ran every chance he got.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're actually this exact scenario. This is why I was saying it's like so perfect textbook. This exact scenario of escalation and de-escalation, and when you lose and regain your self-defense rights in the action of a crime, while committing a crime, is actually handled in Wisconsin law. And specifically, you have to make all reasonable and possible, all possible reasonable, something like that wording, where it's kind of weird, but you understand it. Attempts to de-escalate and remove yourself. So, like, if you are robbing somebody, for example, and you run out the door and they chase you with a gun, and you run down the street, jumping behind alleys and trying to get away, now you gain back the right to self-defense because you're no longer committing the crime. You're leaving. You're trying to de-escalate and shit, you know? And the person who's being robbed, like while you're in their house, obviously they can shoot you for robbing them. But when they get off your property and they're clearly trying to disengage from everything, then you can't shoot them. You might still be able to. It depends. But you get what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And with what Loudmouth said earlier about that, if you provoke a situation, but you immediately try to run away from the situation to de-escalate, by that law, by that logic right there, that would mean that even if, big fat if, because I kind of doubt this, if Kyle was the first person to point his gun at any innocent person in the first place, like immediately before he ended up running away from Rosenbaum, the fact that he was running away from the situation, like puts him in the right again immediately afterward.
Right.
Right. Well, that's why. That's why the Binger's attempt to make the claim that he did that was silly in the first place. Because even if Binger was right, Kyle tried to de-escalate and disengage.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why Binger's case against him was the most disgusting thing ever. It's an outrage the judge even allowed it to go before the jury. I mean, that case should have been thrown out immediately, and Binger should have been let out there in cuffs.
I think the judge had to let it go to a jury, and he knew this because he knew how people would react and how people. And the other part is, if he didn't secure an innocent verdict, they could have gone after him again, and it wouldn't have been double jeopardy. So
Not
I think
necessarily. If he declares a mistrial with prejudice, they can double jeopardy would basically apply.
No, you're right there. Hey guys, you're right there. But if he'd have done that, could you imagine the political blowback instead of just letting it happen?
Well, you got to do it right and not worry about political blowback.
No, I agree with you absolutely. But at the same time, like, these leftists are fucking wild.
Yeah, I mean, but it all worked out in the end, so I guess it's not much to complain about. But
anybody who knew anything knew it was going to work out in the end. Admittedly, there was some fear that it wouldn't.
Right. Oh, I was definitely afraid because I'm worried that we live in clown world, man, and all the evidence would have been ignored.
Right. Well, did you guys ever see Ben Shapiro's video about why the media picked that case?
No, I haven't. I can't say I have.
He thinks amongst the more among the more strategic minded culture war types of leftist, that they're purposely picking things that are demoralizing to have to deal with, like, for example, Kyle Rittenhouse, because that was kind of demoralizing to watch him go through court.
It was, and that kind of makes sense because it basically, just the very fact that he was tried at all really does show how much the far left have corrupted the justice system, because in a remotely sane country, he never would have been tried at all.
Absolutely. And his point is that it's like propaganda. Propaganda doesn't mean that the citizens who are fed propaganda believe it. It just means that they go along with it.
Yeah.
And
because we've had it from day one. We've had the goddamn day two of it. We've had the goddamn video that was like showing that he was being attacked when he fired.
Dude, we had both videos within 30 minutes of the incident. They were both uploaded on Twitter like within 30 minutes of it happening. And so
that soon, I thought it was like the next day, but
no, dude. The first video we got was 15 minutes into it happening, which was that video was the one with skater boy.
Yeah, I looked at that. I'm like, looks sure as hell looks like self-defense to me.
Right, and like
I don't know who this kid is. I don't know why he's there, but that looks like a self-defense shooting if I've ever seen one. That was what I thought.
Right, and the thing is, like, maybe there was something, like, without having seen the first video, like, you could have rationed it, like maybe there was some evidence we haven't seen yet or something, but like all the evidence has been out now for years.
Yeah.
And like the reality is anybody that denies his innocence is either a culture warrior, moron, a propagandist, or a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, you'd have to genuinely be a legit psychopath to look at that video and determine, yeah, this kid should spend the rest of his life in prison when he was clearly like firing at people who were attacking him.
Well, like Binger's ending case kind of summed it all up for me. Remember when he was like, "Oh, let me tell you all the horrible things Joseph Rosenbaum did," right? And then he listed out fucking crimes that could get you shot by the cops or by a citizen, like arson.
He didn't even list, of course, his like worst crimes of his past, because if he done that, no one would have any sympathy for him.
Yeah, well, like for example, if somebody's committing arson in a house near your house, you actually have I don't know about there, but here you have an extended castle doctrine law to protect your property when other people are being reckless and dangerous with property in the area.
Yeah, because like that fire that he was trying to start, it could have spread. It could have killed dozens.
Yeah. Well, like if somebody breaks into my neighbor's house under castle doctrine, I can shoot that person. I can protect my neighbor. To be fair, Texas has really large.
In Texas, I don't know how that extends in other states, though.
Right, but so that would have been covered under arson. Like he could have been shot right then and there for that. And then the destruction of public property, cops could have shot him because you know for a fact if the cops were there, that he wouldn't have stopped.
Yeah, but they weren't there. It took some 17-year-old kid to stop that freak.
No, and with Binger's closing case, he literally said, like he didn't say it word for word, but what he literally said was that a guy who is committing such violent crimes as would end up getting himself shot should be able to commit this crime.
Pretty much, yeah.
and
that's like, wrong to moral. It's wrong to stop him.
Right, and it's like, dude, you are actually fucking insane if you believe that.
Yeah. I was like, my jaw dropped during that whole thing. It came across like I was watching Prosecutor Vosh. It reminded me of one of Vosh's rants, but it was like taken off of the YouTube and put into the real world. It was insane.
Right. No, it was like some Clockwork Orange bullshit. Like, yeah, we should be able to be violent, deadly criminals, and you can't do anything about it.
He should just submit himself to the mob and hope that the mob is nice to him.
Fucking, oh my God, you saw that thing with Vosh? That's what mobs do. They chase murderers.
I did. I watched it like 2 days after that live stream was. Well, I watched it live for a little bit, but that was after the main part of the debate that they were reviewing. And then I rewatched the whole freaking thing 2 days afterward.
Dude,
it was quite the debate.
My jaw dropped when I heard that line because I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Vosh?
I mean, Vosh has always been a shitbag. He's a genuinely malicious individual, so it doesn't surprise me that he would argue bad faith. I kind of found, which is why I was laughing when he got banned from Twitch. Him and, along with that Hassan Piker guy.
I love.
What do you mean I can't say cracker?
I love how
the thing about Hassan Piker that drives me nuts, though, is at least with Vosh. Well, I genuinely think he's a malicious individual. I think he does have an average to above average IQ. I don't think he's like he's a complete moron. With Hassan Piker, I genuinely think the man's mentally retarded. Okay.
Yeah.
I listen to the guy, and he talks like a 14-year-old high school bully.
Yeah, he talks like a stupid fucking
I don't know how you could stand to listen to this guy.
Hey, did you guys watch my most recent response to him, by the way?
Yeah, I did.
I haven't. I've been doing a bunch of stuff lately, but I know I have it saved in my watch later.
What do you think of that, Loudmouth?
Yeah, pretty good video. Did you see like the recent one where he said that that clip where he said that like we were antagonizing China by aiding Taiwan, and that it would be equivalent to China arming the native Hawaiians against America? I'm like, wow, that may be the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I did see that. You shared it, actually, Loudmouth.
Yeah, I'm like, holy fucking shit, this guy's a fucking idiot.
Did you see he recently used the chicken nuggies insult to insult somebody who was judging him? It's like, dude, Hassan, the whole reason the chicken nuggies insult is a thing is because you eat chicken nuggies and scream about communism. That's why that meme exists.
Yeah.
It's because you decide to go on about how your mom normally cooks your chicken nuggies.
Yeah, it was like legitimately one of the most non-self-aware moments I've ever seen.
Yeah, that guy does lack self-awareness.
He's genuinely an idiot. He's like a petulant child in a grown man's body, and he's never had to face consequences for his actions. And you saw when he has to face even the most mild consequences, what does he do? He throws a tantrum like a child.
He bans people.
About that Hassan and Vosh cracker shit.
Yeah,
is Vosh jumped on that bandwagon by starting to say cracker because he'd never said that before. Like, you can't go back and find him calling people cracker before that. So he jumped on the bandwagon to get banned and get some fame out of it. Fucking Hassan gets reinstated on Twitch, and Vosh is still kicked off.
Right. And Hassan should be like the first guy Rittenhouse sues, because if that guy's not guilty of slander, I don't know who is.
The entire TYT. I think the only reason TYT.
His uncle too.
Well, you remember that? What's her name? She apologized. She made that correction video, whatever. That was so awful.
Anna Kasparian.
I think the only reason she did that retraction video, was because they knew they were one of the first in sight for a lawsuit.
Well, Shank's still lying. Like in a recent video on Kyle Rittenhouse that was said right after the Turning Point video, he still again claims that Rittenhouse shot Rosenbaum just because Rosenbaum threw a plastic bag in him. That's a fucking lie. And Shank has repeated that lie a dozen times, and he won't stop.
You're absolutely right.
You can't keep lying like this.
Yeah, it's like that they were in the middle of a food fight or something, and Rosenbaum was just standing in place and throwing a bag at him. And really, no, he was shouting, "I'll kill you! Shoot me!" and all that stuff.
Or he
charging
says that,
it right after him. Sorry, go on.
And says that Kyle just heard a loud noise, or that a bag was thrown at him. He's constantly lies. All right. About the details.
Rosenbaum reminds me of like the Nick Sandman case. You remember there was black Israelites screaming at the one black kid in that class that his white friends were going to steal his organs. Did you ever see that black kid's reaction to that? He was just like, that was really unsettling.
Yeah.
I did not see the Nick Sandman part of that.
Yeah, no, this is in like a 5-hour video that you have to watch pretty much all of it because nobody talks about it much on the left, so it ain't out there much, honestly.
I'm not going to bother to, but...
Right, but the part of the confrontation for the video was black Israelites harassing them and, trying to, racially harassing them.
Yeah.
And including specifically targeting the one black kid in the class for the same kind of, for, being and they called him a coon.
Jeez.
So there's a reason that kid was socially awkward as fuck while on tape. There's a whole context of having black Israelites threaten you.
CBS Morning. Second video offers new context to Kentucky boys taunting Native American activists. I will have to put that on my watch later list. By the way, I just found out that...
That a what? Hello?
He's frozen. Oh shit. You hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, you're freezing up. Try turning off your camera.
Ah, crap.
All right.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I hear you now. Oh, have we lost Trucker? Oh, there, here he is.
Yeah. Okay, he's back.
No, he's back.
Hey, I'm sorry, my audio stopped for some reason. You just found out what?
Well, I just found I was about to say that I just found out that I can like stay in this call and access different tabs at the same time, but then I realized that maybe my phone is not that beefy because it started freezing up a second there.
Yeah. Best to
What
keep
I
the
Oh,
do,
video
well.
off.
what I do is I have two browsers and I split screen it,
All right.
and that's pretty.
Hey, by the
That'll-
way, I guess to kind of bring this onto something that's a little bit more lighthearted and Christmas related. Uh, what? Hey, Loudmouth, what's your thoughts on? Well, actually, what's both of you two guys' thoughts on the Santa Claus Tim Allen movie?
It's okay.
I think the premise is some of the funniest stuff in the world, but the movie isn't that great itself. But it is a fun movie,
Yeah, it's an okay
Eh,
kids movie of the 90s.
and
I
I
thought.
just love the premise is Tim Allen murders Santa Claus, and now he has his.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
In
What
my
was the,
opinion, it kind of aged
you know what
better with
I'm
me.
gonna say that Ralphie from A Christmas Story is definitely Kyle Rittenhouse's grandfather.
Right.
I'll have to probably watch that movie. But I will say that the Santa Claus, it's gotten a little bit better for me with age. Jingle All the Way has got worse for me with age because
That's
that
always
movie is
been a
just
bad
flat out.
movie, though.
Yeah, but as a kid, you don't really notice the horridness of it. But as you grow older, you actually pick up and pay attention to the horrible acting of Jake Lloyd, the vapidness and the materialistic, plot of it.
The kid
It
can't
all
recognize his
hinging.
own dad, in wearing that like little shield on his face. He doesn't recognize his own father.
Yeah, that's pretty dumb as well. I will say that I also noticed a few more comedic aspects of that movie as I grown older, like a few more funny reactions on people's faces and stuff like that. It still made me chuckle, but at the same time, it's not really investable story wise. Jingle all
Yeah,
the
I've
way. I
never
mean,
seen
Best
that
part
one.
of it about it was Phil Hartman. We'll miss him.
My
Phil Hartman. Who is that?
Phil Hartman. He played the neighbor in it. He was on Saturday Night Live.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, he was a comedic legend back in the 90s until he was murdered by his wife.
Jesus Christ!
Oh,
That's how
damn.
he died.
Yeah,
That's kind of ironic because in Jingle All the Way, he plays as a creep who looks like the type of guy who would strangle his own wife, but in real life, he is actually killed by his own real life wife.
Oh
yeah,
my
she
God,
shot him in the head while he was sleeping.
guys!
He was sleeping.
He was sleeping. His wife was addicted to like crack cocaine. She basically got really high and then took a gun, shot him in the head while he was sleeping, and then she turned the gun on herself.
Jesus!
Wow.
Hey guys, NASCAR drive this. I just saw this news. NASCAR driver who inspired "Let's Go Brandon" chant unveils new LGB car. Libs meltdown.
LGB. Nice.
Let's go, Brandon. LGB, let's go, Brandon. Oh yeah, that's so good, actually.
That's
No,
funny.
funny thing was apparently he was really upset for a while that the "Let's Go Brandon" chant became a thing because he couldn't get sponsorships, and it looks like he got over that, and now he's leaning into it because it's funny.
That's good.
Right. I mean, in that live interview with the reporter, he did look nervous as soon as the reporter pointed out "fuck Joe Biden" chants. As soon as the reporter pointed those out and actually twisted them to say "let's go, Brandon," the racer, he looked nervous as he put his hand behind his head and he was all like, "Yeah, I don't hear 'let's go, Brandon.' I think they're saying 'fuck Joe Biden.' Why are you saying this, reporter lady? Why do you put me in this situation?"
Yeah, I think the moment that happened, he was just trying to get the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked nervous as fuck, which is kind of understandable in this situation, I guess, but it's all the same. I think it's mostly the reporter lady's fault, actually, that she pretended to be deaf and try to twist that to be some chance for the racer. And by some crazy guilt by association, sponsors decided to say, "Oh, we cannot associate with you anymore because of this crazy wackadoo." Not even really association, but guilt by association thing. Because your name is associated with a meme that translates to "fuck Joe Biden," we cannot deal with you anymore.
No, it's kind of feel bad for him that happened too, because that was his first NASCAR win, and it got that's like for the first time in your life, like winning the playoffs as a kid in front of your parents. You're so proud of yourself, you know. And then some kid takes a crap right in front of the stands, and everybody remembers that, not you. Like from his point of view, that's what that's got to be like.
But I guess ask back about the Santa Claus. Like, what do you guys think of? I mean, the whole premise of he spooks Santa Claus, which, in all realism, I don't think that Santa Claus should have been able to die falling off of a 2-story or even 3-story fall, landing on soft snow. He might have been injured, but
you're bringing like actual absolute logic into a Santa Claus movie.
Also, you got to remember he was like 1,000 years old, so very brittle bones, probably.
Yeah, who was that original Santa Claus that Tim Allen murdered, and what happened to him?
Right, I want to see his story. And you remember, like the second movie, I think it was, he had to find a Mrs. Claus. What happened to the original Mrs. Claus? Like, did she die when he died too?
Well, somebody made up put out the theory that maybe the Santa Claus that first Santa Claus was Santa for only 5 years, or something short of the time frame that Tim Allen, that Scott Calvin fell under to have to be forced to find himself a Mrs. Claus. So, I mean, I think it was like 8 years or something like that in between the time of Santa Claus 1 and 2. Maybe the original Santa Claus was only Santa for 7 years, let's say, for example.
Wait a second. So his elves had 8 years to warn him that he needed a Mrs. Claus or else. And they didn't warn him?
Yeah, they did procrastinate a lot. But I fault the Santa Claus 2. I fault Santa Claus 2 for that more than Santa Claus 1.
Well, I'm just saying, you know what? I don't think these elves are actually on his side.
It turns out I don't know, children's movies don't always think things through, do they?
Right.
Right, but I think the main point about the first Santa Claus is the father-son relationship. Santa Claus 2 sidelines that a little bit, but the father-son relation, like, I picked this up on most recent watch. I did not pick this up when I was a kid, but now I finally realized that Charlie. I keep on confusing the two because Jingle All the Way and Santa Claus are two highly similar movies. But no, Charlie and Santa Claus was not that fond of his dad. He was actually quite annoyed of him. And Scott Calvin wasn't actually getting the method as to how that he should bond with his son. Instead, he was selling off this lie, or at least what Charlie viewed and knew, air quotes, to be a lie. Then finally, and that just wasn't actually making gains as far as the relationship goes. But then come later on that it turns out not to be a lie. Scott Calvin is even surprised that it's not a lie and that Santa Claus really is real. And then their relationship is amended together as they go on this adventure together, have some quality father-son time, even if it's doing something that Scott did not originally want to do, being Santa Claus and all that. But they get a relationship going, and by the time that's all done, Charlie finally has something that he can take pride in his dad for.
Right.
But unfortunately,
another thing is, how are kids supposed to keep their what Santa is straight when different Santa movies always give a completely different contradictory mythology on how Santa actually works?
You know what I gotta say? You know what I just
realized? It doesn't matter.
You know what I just realized about Tim Allen?
What?
He's like the family-friendly Adam Sandler.
Kinda.
He makes
maybe
stuff with his friends, and that's how he makes money and gets tax breaks and has fun. But it's family friendly.
He's also more wholesome. he's not just more family friendly. He's also more wholesome a lot of times with the messages that he tries to sell in his medias. Home Improvement, Last Man Standing, Santa Claus.
Glorifying statutory rape.
Right. Well, some of
exactly.
Older movies were actually really heartwarming, even though they were still totally Adam Sandler movies.
Oh yeah, I liked Happy Gilmore.
What was the one where he that with the kid in his studio apartment? Yeah, I really liked that one.
I don't.
Oh,
Which one did you say, Reckless?
Big Daddy.
Yeah.
Oh, Big Daddy. Okay.
His Christmas movie that he made was probably one of the worst Christmas movies ever.
Oh, the cartoon one?
Yeah, 8 Crazy Nights. Fuck that movie, man.
Yeah, I think that was Adam Sandler's like cocaine phase or something.
It's so. What's really bizarre is it has the same animation crew who did The Iron Giant, which is one of the best animated movies ever made, but then with Adam Sandler helming the script, man, did they make a bad movie.
Oh yeah, no, like I said, that's like if you see the way he is, like it's Adam Sandler, but too much Adam Sandler. So I think he was like on uppers or something the whole time because like Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, that's an animated movie that is so bad. If Walt Disney were to rise from the grave and watch it, he would regret ever inventing animated movies because he'd feel somehow responsible.
Right. No, but no, why don't you like Big Daddy though? I like that one a lot.
There's not. It bored me.
Well, I really liked the relationship between Adam Sandler and the kid in that one because, like, Adam Sandler is like just the worst role model ever, but like he does like kids to an extent, and he's trying to not be a horrible person. And the
talking about his character in the movie.
Yeah. And the kid kind of forces his character to grow up, and I really like that.
That's interesting. The way that you frame it, you sell it pretty well, Trucker.
But Happy Gilmore was great too, man.
Oh yeah, I honestly liked it. I especially liked the opening
it's not great, it's okay.
Soundtrack. Like Tuesday's Gone with the Wind. Love that song.
Hey man, Little Nicky, man. Awful movie, but it is fun.
It's a terrible movie.
But it is fun.
Oh, speaking of terrible movies, but supposedly being fun, you guys might have seen me share Shay Furlow's production's review of Space Jam in the SFN Twitter group chat. I just found it to be his review of that to be kind of dumb, honestly. Like he called it a 3 out of 10 movie, but called it very fun and said that people should still watch it. It's like, or recommended people still watch it. It's like, what the fuck,
the
dude?
Original Space Jam?
No, the second one, the new one.
I haven't even seen the new one.
Watch that because of LeBron James.
LeBron James.
Yeah. No, that makes me so mad too. Is because like with Jordan, with Air Jordan, like originally, Michael Jordan, like he was a nice guy and genuinely he was one of the nicest people in the NBA, Yeah. And like remember that one giant fight happened, and like Michael Jordan like single-handedly made people like feel family friendly towards the NBA again. And but like, so he was somebody that people could get behind, even if they didn't like his team and they didn't like him. Like they couldn't say anything bad about him. And it's like LeBron James is actually an awful person.
He is. He really is the worst.
Like, on every moral level, he is. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being a Bill Cosby type. Honestly,
I wouldn't at all either. I mean, he sold out to the Chinese, that with all the horrible things they do, he refuses to say shit.
Yeah, if you're willing to defend Uyghur genocide, you're probably willing to be a much worse person in other ways too.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Hey, coach, you should be quiet and not criticize the Chinese while we're here.
Right.
Yeah. Oh wait, the commie flu is affecting me again. There is no Uyghur genocide.
Uyghurs
Everyone in
don't exist.
Xinjiang is happy.
Right. The Hong Kongers, they're all happy that they are finally fully under Chinese rule.
Exactly.
Oh my
I
God,
mean,
you guys remember
who would want freedom when you can live life under the boot of an oppressive authoritarian dictatorship?
Right.
I swear, I must have seen somewhere there was this one guy that was warning Donald Trump and saying that China is an asshole, but I don't know. I guess it didn't really happen. I must have just seen it in a vague dream or something in my sleep.
Exactly. This commie flu is really helping, man. I don't like.
It's helped straighten out my thoughts.
Yeah, it is really straightening out my thoughts. Yes.
Hey
In
guys,
fact,
you remember cultural? You remember
Chernobyl
cultural?
was caused purely because nuclear power is dangerous, not because the Soviet Union mismanaged it at all.
Hey, no, you guys remember cultural boomer?
Do we really have to talk about him?
Well, not that, but
I mean, I know that we already talked about how he's like a China simp. I mean, what more is there to talk about?
no, that was actually one of my fallings out with him originally because me and him were really cool with each other for a while. But he tried to say that the Uyghur detention camps and genocide camps, he literally said that they were just re-education camps. And I'm like, dude, that is what every genocidal camp in history has been called.
Pretty much.
You fucking idiot.
Yeah, imagine a modern day neo-Nazi saying that the German concentration camps, that those are really just education camps.
Right. No, and I point this out to people is like, dude, we actually have more evidence for Chinese genocide than we did for Nazi genocide when going into it.
Oh yeah.
Damn. Well,
Like,
it's the internet. The internet kind of helps with that. So yeah.
Yeah, we have like drone footage that's been smuggled out of China. You can see the Uyghur slaves blindfolded and like cuffed and being sent to factories throughout
having
China.
their heads shaved and shit like that.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
Put onto train carts surrounded by super soldier decked out people.
It is absolutely horrific.
So, speaking of movies that Loudmouth doesn't like, Loudmouth, what's your opinion on why that Waterworld is a terrible movie?
What?
I haven't seen Waterworld in like a decade and a half. I'm not commenting on it.
Okay.
I don't think it's a terrible movie.
Dumb as fuck, but it's a great movie.
Trucker, what do you think of it?
It's fun.
I didn't say it was a terrible movie. I just said I don't remember it being that good.
My favorite was the smoker gang. They're so cheesy and like bad guys.
I thought it was kind of fun and also wholesome. I particularly liked the ending of when that. Well, I guess a spoiler alert to everybody who is watching. But I particularly like the ending of when the Mariner, who is played by Kevin Costner, that he doesn't have any name revealed to us. By the way, folks, a lot of these characters don't. But anyway, the Mariner, when they finally find dry land, find the island, the last island on all of Earth, he says to Enola, I think is the little girl's name, or he leaves off of dry land, saying that it's not right for him. And the way that he just gives a send off right there, it kind of reminds me of Frodo's dialogue with Sam at the end of Return of the King. It's all like, we found dry land, Enola, but not for me, for you.
Right.
You know, a play on the Frodo and Sam dialogue. You're saying?
Yeah, Frodo ended up going to the everlasting lands.
Yeah, we saved the Shire, but not for me, for you, Sam. Beautiful line,
dude. I Sam is awesome. What was that? The EFAP guy said, you know, Samwise Gamgee is a Chad.
Oh yeah, there's
a Chad.
I think he was like a British Indian dude or something. I can't remember what the name of the movie reviewer guy was, but yeah, on that one EFAP where they were responding to cinematic Venom when it came to Lord of the Rings, the one Indian British dude, he was all like Sam Wise is a Chad, and then everyone was all like, oh yeah, he's a Chad. Like by the end of it all, he gets married, has a whole bunch of kids, he works his own land, and all that stuff. And
Yeah,
plus, he's like the toughest of all the four hobbits.
Yeah, he
What are
ended
you
up
saying?
having 12 children, man.
12 children?
Damn it.
Mhm.
Hey, Joy Reid, MSNBC's Joy Reid just responded to Ranting Monkey on Twitter.
Wait, what?
I'm not kidding.
Joe wants this shit. Look at it in the Twitter group chat.
Thanks that shit, yes.
Like, oh shit.
I can't believe somebody I've actually talked to is about to just demolish her butthole.
Oh yeah, I look forward to this.
Wait, I don't think I'm able to see it on Twitter without having to back out because I'm on the Twitter app in the StreamYard call, so I'll look at it later. But
Oh wait, no. I was gonna say I'll send you a screenshot, but never mind.
but that definitely sounds amusing. I will have to look at it and see how much more famous that Ranting Monkey gets. I have a feeling that he's definitely going to make a Monkey in the Morning about this come the end of the New Year weekend.
Nice.
He definitely should. Ranting Monkey's great. I love how Ranting Monkey is he's just a dude. Just a dude.
Yeah, he really is. Like, he's really got that everyman type of personality going for him as he's talking about politics.
He's like a diet average Joe Rogan.
Does he make much content anymore?
Stupid, buddy.
What are you saying, Loudmouth?
Like, kind of retired.
What's that?
Does he still make much content anymore?
Mostly
Joe
live
Rogan?
streams.
Oh, you're meaning Ranting Monkey. Okay. Yeah, Ranting Monkey, he'll occasionally do an edited video, but he mostly does live streams, and he loves it. And all of the viewers like it, too. He's probably the number one. Sorry, what?
Can do.
What'd you say, Trucker?
I said Ranting Monkey is all old and in constant back pain, so that's all he really can do.
Right.
Jokes aside, now I'm not much of a live stream guy, like watching them honestly. But
right.
Either he's found his niche and it's working out for him.
Oh, and there's the Stairway to Heaven.
Ooh, boy.
Stairway to Heaven. I guess everyone's on a stairway to heaven when they have COVID, like I do.
There's a lady who's short. No, I won't. But anyway, yeah, Ranting Monkey. He's probably what?
Said watch. They claim this live stream because of you singing.
No. I am not accurate to Robert Plant, but anyway.
Jump in. You should.
Yeah, tell Aspie to do a perfect Robert Plant impersonation and start singing Stairway to Heaven. That would be awesome, actually, is if we got Incredible Aspie to do the full 8 minutes of Stairway to Heaven on video.
We did not. No, we're not doing that. But
hey, though,
you were just diagnosed with gutted pest. What is that?
Sorry, microwave.
Psoriasis?
I'm making chicken nuggets.
I don't know how to read that.
Hey, did you post the link?
Yeah, in the SSF chat.
Hey, Incredible Aspie, hello, guy. And he says I could try it as far as doing Stairway to Heaven. Yeah, I'd totally be down for that, man.
I can see the YouTube chats on StreamYards. I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah.
Hey, Aspie.
Crap, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, Ranting Monkey. He's probably like the number one right-winger that I go listening to most often, even more than Ben Shapiro, quite honestly.
Really?
If it was like Yeah. I mean, I guess I do. I guess I only listen to Ben Shapiro on the weekly, maybe bi-weekly even. But nonetheless, ranting. I mean, I like Ben for his coverage of federal politics, but let's be honest, he does not have the most appealing personality. Much less does he have an everyman personality that is as likable as Renting Monkeys. Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh has a little bit more, actually, much more of an everyman type of personality than Ben Shapiro. But at the same time, he's got a sort of douchey side to him. Ranting Monkey, he doesn't have near as much of a douchey side as
I
Matt
love
Walsh
Matt
does.
Walsh. I like the. I think he really. I like he's willing to just say what he thinks, man. You know.
Well, no, I understand, and his douchiness is not the most insufferable. In fact, sometimes it can be more entertaining than actually grating, especially when he does his dry, humorous deliveries. Like I like his dry sense of humor, and Ben Shapiro's too. Especially when Matt Walsh he decides to get all sarcastic and whatnot. But
I like
Ranting
Matt
Monkey,
Walsh too, but he's a bit quick to get douchey with people, in my opinion.
yeah, I guess. I mean, I think that his criticism of Kristi Noem was a little bit unfair. Kristi Noem, the South Dakota governor, Kristi Noem was. I'm not so sure what exactly it was. I think she struck down some legislation that was passed by the legislature to ban businesses from mandating masks or vaccines or whatever within their own private business. And Kristi Noem struck that down, and she got publicity for it. It was something in relation to coronavirus policy, but basically she was trying to protect people's private property rights, business rights, to determine who they allow on their business or not. And Matt Walsh was going against her, and she was all like, "We cannot set up this precedent." I can't remember verbatim what the exact point was, but she was saying we cannot set up this precedent for Joe Biden to go off of. And Matt Walsh decided to take that out of context and be all like, "Hey, look, Kristi, Joe Biden is not going to take political philosophy or belief lessons from you, of all people." And that was not the point of what she was saying. The point that she was trying to make right there was that we need to be consistent with our beliefs when it comes to these issues, when it comes to private property rights, for example. And Matt Walsh decided to conflate that as, oh, she's trying to set an example for Joe Biden to follow. It's like, fuck you, dude. I like you, Matt Walsh, but in that moment, I'm just all like in my mind, fuck you.
No, he said some stuff like about like mental illness, where he's like, "Oh, just get over it. You don't, just get over being suicidal." And it's like, dude, you're an idiot.
Oof. Right.
Yeah. And like, I get what he's trying to do is like he's saying, "Hey, stop listening to all these." It was in a wider context where he was talking about how there's a lot of people on the left who seem proud of being mentally ill.
Right. I mean, I guess he does have a point in that people seem to use it as a trope, as a trend or something, being mentally ill.
Right. But like, dude, to make that specific statement, like, just get over being suicidal. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like,
yeah, that was pretty stupid. I can say that I have had one particular suicidal episode years ago. It was the only one that I had, and it was a pretty dark state of mind that I was in right there. I felt so
into like
just get over it, man.
Let's see. Aspie says Vosh is a creep. Yes, Vosh is a creep.
100%, Aspie.
Yes.
What is it? I'll love to repeat that cartoon again with a cartoon Vosh saying. And I'm just saying, if you're discussing the Jews all the time, you're probably a fascist. In the next panel. Anyway, back to the age of consent.
That was.
Hey, if you talk, I got a question. If you talk about private property rights all the time, what are you probably in that case?
Well, we know Vosh is a stupid communist.
I gotta say, I'm just asking. I'm just asking because I go on about private property rights a whole lot.
Dude, I gotta say, I love that who that one guy, Doomer Politics or whatever his name is, made that video. You know, Vosh is unironically evil, and like he nailed it. Like he really did.
Yeah, he didn't even
Dude,
go
there
into
was-
like some of his weird his weird quotes on when it comes to like the age of consent. He didn't even have to touch that. He just showed
I saw
all the many times that Vosh has just lied his ass off about police officers.
Not only that, but also calling. I think he pointed out how there was at least one time where Vosh called for their deaths and whatnot. And he's like, he thinks that conservatives are the worst people of all time, being a big asshole to them. So, and from that point of view,
Well, he
just
didn't
by
call
that
for their
alone,
death. He just
just
kind
by
of winked support of political violence, basically.
okay.
what you're
But
saying is he treaded a line.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's smart enough that he can tread the line without going over it.
No, man. Well, that's why
Sorry.
he's also slightly smarter than Hassan, because Hassan's gone right over that line several times.
Yeah, that's the one thing I will grant Vosh. He is a lot smarter than Hassan.
That ain't
Hassan
saying
is
much.
genuinely a retard.
Although I do love that the biggest communist YouTuber, Twitch guy, whatever, is also the fucking dumbest. like bedroom feminists are smarter than this guy.
Oh yeah. I'd probably rather have a sit-down conversation with ranting feminist than Hassan Piker.
Oh,
Just for example.
That's not even close.
Yeah, Hassan Piker's just going to accuse you of being a Nazi.
Heck,
They'll probably just call you a pussy and have this attitude. Want to fight, bro?
He just told me to suck his dick.
Yeah, that's all the guy does. He behaves like a fucking kid. It's terrible.
Also,
It's
I love
like,
that
what is with this asshole behavior of constantly banning your subscribers from your live chats just because they give you even the slightest bit of constructive and nice pushback? Then he just screams, "Suck my dick! I'm gonna do whatever I want."
I love that one where somebody told
How
him.
can anyone stand a guy like that? How can you just stand to listen to a guy who behaves this way?
It's probably a sign that we as humanity deserve the meteor, loudmouth.
We do. I'm losing. I'm choking on them black pills every day. I guess that's like the best treatment for COVID.
Hey.
Is the black pills or the meteor?
Both. both the black pills and the meteor are helping to cure me of my COVID.
You need to watch the Razor
Fist
video.
flu.
You need to watch the Razor Fist video about body bag and black pills, man, because there's good reason to be optimistic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm overall an optimist myself, but at the same time, watching of how many toxic people out there will just lap up all the toxic behavior of all these big icons like Hassan, it really is the type of shit to make you lose hope in humanity.
Right,
Like,
it isn't even exclusive to the left. I mean, how many times have we gone after No Bullshit, who's of the right, and he's kind of the same way. He's a toxic retard. But granted, he's disappeared now. But
I don't think he's on the right. I think he's an opportunist who tried to grift and is just too stupid to do it.
I mean, but he was not too stupid to do it. Is the problem? He actually was really successful for a time. His channel got really big, even though his videos were terrible.
Well, you're right in that he's stupid, Trucker, but Loudmouth is also right that he was clever enough to actually successfully grift. He's not clever enough to make himself look good, but clever enough to... Sorry, what?
He couldn't make it last.
Well, no, let's remember that he was in the big leagues for 4 years ever since 2017.
Wait,
Really?
Damn.
That's
No bullshit.
He's exclusive to the left.
Wow.
Right.
All he ever does is talk about SJW this and SJW moments and this. It's like such easy, lazy ass content, and yet he kept for years. He seemed to be able to earn a living off of it.
You saw his Spider-Man review where he tried to say Spider-Man, the first one. What was it called?
It was just called Spider-Man. Are you talking about the Tom Holland movies?
Yeah, the first Tom Holland Spider-Man movie.
Homecoming.
He was like, "This is
Homecoming.
nothing but he's like, this is nothing but SJW crap." And it's like, dude, there's like a single line in the entire movie that's kind of like that, and
Look,
that's it.
I mean, here's my thing: if any property at all needed some artistic license, it is Spider-Man, because that show has been rebooted so many times in such a short amount of time. I think it's almost called for that they made some of the characters brown-washed in that movie. So yeah.
Well, yeah. The other part of this is like he's been with a girl named MJ who's black in the comics and stuff, and like
yeah.
I'm not even like going on. I'm just saying, like, there are examples of like both sides, and the fact that there seems to be zero correlation between intelligence and ability to get successful online. In fact, intelligence, if anything, seems like a detriment, because when you're stupid, you're more willing to say idiotic things that are probably would have negative consequences in the real world, and thus a smart person would avoid them. But someone who's stupid just might like say whatever comes to their gut, and it might actually be like advantageous to getting you attention on the internet.
You're more likely to say these broad, plain.
What's that?
In the comments, Zeo Gold is absolutely right. All communists are stupid.
Right.
Are they though? I mean, I don't think Xi Jinping is stupid.
All right, all Western communists are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like even Richard.
What was I gonna say? To expound on Loudmouth's point, I was going to say that stupid people, they'll make all these broad, generalizing platitudes that just sound very catchy as a catchphrase to a massive group of people, even though it might not be accurate. I mean, it's kind of like the one quote from my good friend Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You have to be if it's morally right, then lying is all right. Actually, damn it, I can't remember what the exact quote was. I feel bad. But you know what I'm talking about.
I don't care about being 100% factually accurate. I care about being morally accurate.
Yes, what he said. Thank you, Trucker.
Yeah, and I think like stupider people are more willing to just say broad shit that like appeals to like the broad masses, whereas someone who's smarter and like goes into like really the nitty gritty details of stuff, I think people that kind of bores a lot of the masses.
Yeah.
So what you're saying,
So
Loudmouth, is that we've entered political idiocracy.
Yes, that's what I think.
So,
that's why I think actually being an idiot actually might be an advantage on a mass platform. So
maybe in my case, if I want to be actually successful on YouTube, I should probably just drop the idea of being against generalizations.
Pretty much. Yeah, does anyone who's against generalizations ever get ahead? It seems only morons who just make broad and idiotic generalizations seem to get ahead plenty.
Yeah. Did you guys ever see my April Fool's video, by the way?
What's that?
Did you guys ever see my April Fool's video from this year, by the way?
I remember it. I didn't. I remember seeing it. I don't remember it.
It was when I was just saying that all cops are bad, all liberals are stupid, all right-wingers are racist, all conservatives are racist, all leftists are pedophiles. And by the end of it, I was all like, in fact, everybody who works a public sector job is a bad person. In fact, if you're a firefighter, you probably punch puppies in your free time. And then I'm just all like, you know what? In fact, fuck it. Just all of humanity is bad. Why is life worth even living? And then I shoot myself with a toy gun.
Hey, man, did anybody ever get onto you on that video and take it seriously?
No.
Don't cut yourself.
Well, one person almost did, but then they realized that I was joking once I got to the all white people are racist part, I think.
I did a response video once. Remember when Satirician did a response video to Shoe on Head's parody feminist character, and he got tore up and down for that?
Oh yeah. That was a
Yeah,
long time
I
ago.
did a response video to that same channel like a week later just to fuck around, and like literally in the tags and stuff in the description, I made it obvious that I was like being an idiot and joking around. But I had people coming on there like, you know that shoe on head, right? You moron. And it's like, fucking obviously.
Right. Zio Gold in the live chat says an actual smart person can get a point across to as many people as possible using straightforward, simple language. Yeah, exactly. I mean, a
Right.
smart person should use as simple language as possible.
But no
I
simpler.
don't-
That's actual Einstein quote.
I don't think it should be like overly simplistic. Like if you have an unnuanced view of the world where you think that there are literally only liberals and only conservatives that exist within politics.
What he's saying is like you should be able to do a nuanced commentary that's easy to understand.
Right, but I think like with the son, I think the reason why he has an audience is because his like high school bully type. I think most of his audience are kind of like high school bully types. You know, they're either in
agree.
high school themselves and they are ones who like picking on kids a grade smaller than them, or they're like adults that haven't moved beyond that mindset.
Well, you notice like every major leftist, like this comes out all the time about major leftists that like back in high school they were a bully, or if they were, you know, or they were a misogynistic type, you know, a womanizer and everything else,
Right.
or they have some like racist story, you know, with leftist and Democrats and shit. Like I think it is them like still wanting to be bad people, but be considered good people for it.
I do. I think the same thing. And I absolutely think that when it comes to Hassan.
Yeah, especially Hassan. Like the one guy said that got booted from his channel. Like in World War II, he'd have been a Nazi.
He would have.
I love though how like Hassan's way of responding to that is like he pictures himself in World War II, like still on YouTube eating chicken nuggets.
Yeah, I know. He really didn't even understand what the guy was saying because he's genuinely that stupid that he can't place himself in a different circumstance.
Right. It's like I legitimately think he's one of those people without any kind of internal monologue or internal thought.
I know. It's scary. Like he has no theory.
Leftist, here's your hero.
Man. Yeah, that was
I gotta
something
mute
else.
myself.
Huh. I guess I wasn't getting picked up right there.
Yeah.
I was able to hear you guys, but when I was looking at the YouTube tab, but apparently you weren't able to hear me for a second there.
Sorry about that.
I guess I shouldn't be looking at other tabs for too long, otherwise the audio shuts off or something. The audio receiver.
You gotta.
But-
what I do is split screen it in a different browser, and I have a second browser just for when I have streams up.
I gotta learn to do that better. Split screen on my phone. But Zio Gold also says in the chat, to the people who enjoy No BS, a movie with one thing that leans the slightest bit in favor of the leftists is SJW garbage. Exactly. I mean, if you do the littlest thing that is like favorable to the leftist sphere, that means that you are like playing for the left. You are advantaging them or something. I mean, it's the same.
We started whining about like a brief gay character in the movie Onward, and we did like a whole response to him last year.
Yeah.
There was like this brief moment where a character mentions that they're gay, and he tried to like attack the whole movie based on that, and he just started whining about it.
Oh my God.
Repeating himself constantly for several minutes. It was just insufferable.
Hey, you know that guy who does Dune videos we did a live stream response about?
Yeah.
Quinn's reviews, yeah.
Yeah.
Quinn's idea, excuse me.
I just realized No BS is the parody character in his fucking video.
Pretty much.
Oh, yeah. I
that
mean,
guy.
surely. Well, I even then, I think Quinn's ideas was making 1 or 2 points that he is even a straw man of No BS's beliefs, but at least for half of it,
was really that bad. That's why I took
What do you want to bet if we go through?
When I did Quinn in that video.
Right. What do you want to bet that if we go through No BS's recent stuff, if he has anything on Dune, he freaks out about Leah Kynes being a black woman,
Even
even
though
though I guarantee
he's not read the
he's
book.
never read the book.
No,
Let me find this.
there is zero chance in hell he has read the book.
No,
I don't think there's zero chance in hell he's ever read any book.
Look. He's read plenty of Magic School Bus books. All right, he can color in the lines.
Yeah, I mean,
So apparently, he's uploaded a few more videos in the recent months.
yeah.
Grand Theft Auto remasters turn into disaster after getting woke. Indiana Jones 5 director throws temper tantrum, attacks fans. From 6 months ago. The Grand Theft Auto one was 1 month ago.
His channel got demonetized, so he pretty much he's mostly abandoned it.
Gee,
yeah, he probably looks at it more as hobby now.
Pretty much. That's why I used to fart out like 3 videos a week.
Right. And
now he like posts every few months, so he's pretty much done.
He's just keeping it up in the hopes that he gets monetization again to keep Patreon money.
You know, if I was able to, if I was able to do YouTube full time and make an actual living off of it, like no, I'm not going to mention incomes, but if I was able to make a sufficient living off of it, I'd probably do 3 videos per week, possibly.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you don't have a job, doing YouTube's quite easy, actually, depending on what you're doing, obviously, you know?
Yeah.
But, like hell, like PewDiePie's videos are basically all just reaction videos to different things.
They really are nowadays, huh?
Yeah, and they're fun. I watch them.
PewDiePie.
PewDiePie!
My Minecraft house tour. Why am I still here? This is from PewDiePie.
Yeah, he does do some
TikTok
video
survival
games
time.
still, but you know, like I said, those are live stream usually, and I'm not much of a live stream guy.
Hey, by the way, did you guys watch Spider-Man No Way Home?
No, I haven't seen it.
I really want to.
I was going to see it this week, but I can't go to a movie theater.
Well, let me guarantee you guys that it is good. It is kind of rocky with some of the cheesiness in the beginning and middle parts, I guess. But the parts with Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is fantastic. And the ending makes it all the worth it. That rocky sort of beginning and middle, the ending makes it all worth it.
You realize this is literally the first time I'm hearing that William Dafoe is in it. I've been going out of my way to literally not hear anything. I see anything Spider-Man related.
Shit! I'm sorry.
You absolute turd. Because I saw before it came out, I saw all these ideas like, oh, it's a live action Spider-Verse, and I was like, just scroll past. So,
Sorry.
No,
I thought you might have seen the main trailers.
No, I haven't even watched the trailers because I feel like this is going to be one of the last good Marvel movies.
Maybe. I mean, it kind of has revived a little bit of my hope for the MCU. But in fact, I spoiled it for myself entirely before I actually watched it. I've listened to the entirety of both Critical Drinker and Shea-Furlow's Productions reviews of it before I watched it, because I was just suffering that much from Marvel fatigue and burnout and all that stuff. Plus, Shang-Chi wasn't good. Black Widow wasn't really that good either.
Awful.
No, you know what's awful is freaking WandaVision.
I thought some parts of it were really good, but also I got to say, my God, their understanding of morality in that series is fucking awful.
Oh yes, sir. Like the first 2 episodes of WandaVision were very charming, but by episode 3 and then definitely later on, it just goes in the toilet. Like
right, like in the very end. Spoiler alert, everybody! Like in the very end, when that one black chick is like, "You've got nothing to prove to these people." It's like, bitch, you kidnapped thousands. You locked children in their bedrooms for months.
Yeah, WandaVision was essentially the bad guy of the movie. Yet there was no character at all that would fully address this, aside from the one guy that the movie or the series, excuse me, was trying to make out the bad guy but failed at it, and that being sword director Hayward.
Yeah, no,
Also,
Hayward was totally in the right, even to the level of confiscating Vision's body. Like he did everything.
I haven't even seen WandaVision, so I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Oh shit! Do you care about spoilers?
Not particularly.
Okay. Well, I just want to say that as far as the confiscation of Vision's body, I mean, I do see that as being a little bit more morally dubious. Like, by rights, Wanda does actually have the rights to his body by, first person custody or whatever. But at the same time, it isn't that immoral of him to keep it because she was just going to throw away that body anyways in the first place.
Yeah.
She had the right to confiscate.
They should have given them a burial and a funeral service and everything. Which, but like, honest truth, considering what Vision is and the fact that we're fighting literal god-killing aliens, I understand.
Yeah. Basically, his motive was the same thing as Nick Fury's motive in the first Avengers. So you didn't really sell him as being this immoral piece of shit as well as you would like to think, WandaVision. There is one point, only one thing only, really, that they gone showing of how bad a guy he is. And that is when he tries to shoot Wanda's kid. Again, spoiler alert, everybody. Like, that's the only thing. But even that was not built up to at freaking all. It just came out of nowhere. And so, therefore, it felt really, really cheap and fake.
But you also got to keep in mind, though, from his point of view, you have these superhuman, essentially gods amongst men, who, as far as he knows, have all been in on the kidnapping of an entire town, families, women, and children and shit. And like, so
maybe,
like, I get that it was horribly wrong of him because we know the kids and stuff. But like, just imagine that point of view. These are gods amongst men. Even the children are. Like,
yeah,
that's got to be horrifying.
Sure. And I really didn't understand the one line of dialogue from
saying, like, we got to keep that in mind.
No, I understand. I mean, but then again, isn't that the same justification that Vosh did of the mob that tried to attack Kyle Rittenhouse after he had shot Joseph Rosenbaum to death? Yeah, I called him the pet name that freaking Mark Ruffalo called him. I feel dirty now.
Jojo. Yeah.
Yes.
No, the difference is that he didn't kidnap thousands of, Kyle didn't kidnap thousands of people, so.
Okay.
But no, I get that.
Nonetheless,
I'm just saying, like, from his perspective, you got to keep that in mind.
And
that is terrifying.
To stay on this little parallel that we are building right here, I guess I can somewhat understand the talking point from lefties saying that, these people view Kyle as a murderer. But, I mean, ad hoc of the situation, we know exactly what fucking happened, and we know that Kyle was justified in that situation.
Right. Well, what I love about that defense, though, is, like, Kyle is literally running towards the cop, gun down, his gun is pointed towards the ground the whole time, and, like, he's going out of his way to avoid people. And it's like, I can understand, like, when you hear about it and you see him running, being on the edge of thinking about that. But, like, at the same time, like, you don't, without direct evidence of that stuff, you can't go in there and kill the guy.
No. Yeah, but what I was wanting to say about...
Yeah, that's the thing. They're like, the justification is always in, they thought they were pursuing an active shooter. I'm like, an active shooter wouldn't be running away from you to turn himself in, dumbass.
Right.
And you know what also kind of ties into the whole Kyle Rittenhouse subject and WandaVision at the same time is the one bit of dialogue between Wanda and director Hayward. Director Hayward is all like, "You're kidnapping real people, Wanda." And you know what Wanda's response to that is? "I'm not the one with the guns, director."
Right? That was the
It
funniest
is the
shit to me.
stupidest response ever. Like, at best, you could say that is the weakest ever no you in the history of no use. At worst, you could say that this was
Morons wrote this shit.
Wanda. What? What you say?
I said, what morons would write dialogue like that?
Hollywood.
I don't know. Anti pro gun control nut jobs, I guess. People like Binger who think that if you possess a gun, that inherently means that you are morally bankrupt and don't deserve the right to life or anything like that. Like, seriously,
in the
I mean,
Marvel universe, Captain America and Iron Man have all used lots and lots of guns.
Right. What I also
right, but I don't know.
I was about to say what else I love about that too is that like they have the guns because you kidnap thousands of people, you crazy bitch.
Yeah, and what I want to say to you, Loudmouth, is I think the new generation of directors coming in for the MCU, I think they are trying to botch that, and who knows, maybe they'll try to see of what they can to maybe even make Tony, Steve, and all the rest of them look bad at the same time. Bucky, because Bucky had a machine gun throughout the Infinity War.
Yeah, they were using plenty of fucking guns.
Oh yeah. No,
oh no, they're morally bankrupt. Somebody killed them. Let's get Joseph Rosenbaum to kill James Buchanan, or excuse me, Bucky Barnes. My bad.
Say real quick, man. I heard that,
he'll be the new Marvel hero, Pedo Man.
Right, Pedo Man. He's friends with every Hollywood director. That's his power.
And Mark Ruffalo.
Hey, yes. Plot twist, his secret identity is Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I heard like they were saying there was a lawyer that was representing Joseph Rosenbaum's estate. Like gonna sue him. I'm like, what estate? All right, the guy was a homeless pedophile. All right, what the fuck is his estate beyond a cardboard box and something and a few pages of lolly porn?
Right? No, yeah, like his fucking his estate is that plastic bag full of his mental health drugs.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I heard about Captain America and Winter Soldier TV show that there was some line in there. I saw this from Critical Drinker, some like racial line where like Winter Soldier got treated better by the cop and stuff. And it's just like
I heard about that too. It's why I don't really want to watch the show.
Right. No, my problem with that is like the dude who's Captain America right now, he used to be the Falcon. Yeah. He literally fought things and survived and won against creatures that, as far as our perspective goes, are monsters, demons, and gods.
Yeah.
Some of them literally Loki. Yeah. And like, it's like, this is one of the most famous people on the planet, because at this point, most famous people on the planet are the Avengers.
Yes.
Speaking of which,
so there's no way in hell that cop didn't recognize him.
Okay, so if that's the case, then that is Falcon and Winter Soldier trying to retcon the MCU story, I guess.
No, it's just them acting like that. The context of who he is doesn't exist, so they can push a racial narrative.
It's not retcon; it's just the writers being lazy hacks.
No, retcon is not the right word. My bad.
Yeah,
but
it's like in the fucking what's it called? The Justice League movie, where they just completely ignore that Wonder Woman 1984 happened. For like one-liners from Wonder Woman where she's like, I loved a guy once. Like, well, really, you loved him twice. He came back to life.
Well, keep in mind, 1984 was made after Justice League.
Yeah. I mean, literally, you could discount Wonder Woman 1984 because it doesn't really tie into the overall plot. But what I was going to say about Falcon and Winter Soldier is that I did watch the first episode. I haven't watched any further episode yet. And I'm kind of scared too because of the whole cringy racial messaging I'm probably getting myself into. watching WandaVision was painful enough with the stupid ass lines that
The ones with the
supposed
guns.
good guys were yeah exactly, the supposed good guys were saying in response to the supposed bad guys. But I did somewhat like the first episode, mostly because of the fact of Falcon's opening action sequence on the helicopters and all that stuff, and I also liked Bucky Barnes as he was being interviewed by the counselor. It felt kind of like a character analysis of the Winter Soldier character in that series, and I don't know, it was kind of intriguing. What I didn't really like about the first episode was the awkward arguments and conversations between Falcon and his sister. It was, and I'm as far as Loki goes, I haven't watched that at all, but I'm looking forward to watching it mostly just because of the fact that Owen Wilson is in it. I like Owen Wilson. I particularly liked him in the movie Get Out, or No Escape. Excuse me, No Escape. That's the name of the movie.
Oh, I just realized I'm muted. No, I really liked Loki personally. Like, I saw people were like, "Oh, this is awful retcon," and it's like, yeah, no, this is not even retcon because it's in a separate timeline, and in the Avengers Infinity War, the sequel one, the ancient one explained exactly this happening through the time stone, and the stones being taken out.
Right.
And I actually really like it because it's a really good personality analysis of Loki.
Right. I have watched Hawkeye, which I'm not going to spoil anything about it, but I'm just going to let you guys know it's good. It keeps Hawkeye dignified. It does not make him look like a complete jackass or anything like that. I think you guys, and also the female lead that they have in it, turns out to be one of Hawkeye's biggest fans. They do not like overpower her, and she in fact highly respects Hawkeye throughout the entire series and consistently.
I was afraid of because these days they always have this like female character who comes in and is like, "I'm just better than you." And it's like, fucker, this is the legacy character right here.
They become more like equals, if anything, rather than better. There are some moments when she saves his butt. There are some moments where he saves her butt.
All right.
I got some good news. Fang is trending on Twitter again.
Who's that? I don't have any clue.
Eric Swalwell's bitch.
Oh, okay. Yes. You're talking about the one girl who was all like, he has a tiny dick.
No, the Chinese spy that he was banging.
Yeah. Yeah, he banged a CCP spy. You know, I'm sorry, Eric Swalwell. I know I often say fuck the Chinese communists, but I do not mean that literally.
Right. Dude, what I love about that is he is on the Foreign Intelligence Committee. My God.
Yeah. But, yes, Fang,
that's dangerous.
He banged Fang.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like, for example, Israel will often send Jewish spy women or they used to. I don't know if they still do it. Probably do. They would send Jewish women as spies to go fuck high-ranking Muslim men, and then blackmail them with that information. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, like that. You literally fell for that. What the fuck?
Yeah. Honeypot traps have been the thing that spies have done since the
right. Honeypot. Yeah, and it's like, you fucking idiot. How to be fair, she was fucking hot. But still, like,
that hot. I mean, come on.
I guess I'm not as much intrigued into Asians. Sorry.
I'm not too into Asians either, but she was well curvy for an Asian woman.
She was good.
I guess I did not pay attention to that.
And and what did he tell her and what was the pillow talk? Anything Xi Jinping wants to hear? Probably.
Right.
Had to be. I mean, though, to sleep with Eric Swalwell, I mean, that woman must really love the Chinese Communist Party.
You know, speaking of girls, like, spoiler alert on my channel, I'm gonna end up having to go on a long hiatus, like the longest that my channel has ever been under. So, yeah,
What?
I'm sorry. What? Did you
But
say why?
girls,
I can't really specify why. Maybe I can tell you guys off air if you really want to know. But nonetheless, because of that of happening, this morning was my last morning at my favorite gym that I like to go to. And for the past 3 years, there was this hot Samoan girl that I would see walking through there quite often, actually. Like she had wide hips, nice juicy butt, and she had a bit of an hourglass. It was mostly because of her, I guess you could say, shoulders. They weren't that mannish or anything, but it made the hourglass on her look all the better for having a broad upper torso, just in general. She had some nice sizable boobs as well, and her face was just a nice combo, both cute and dorky at the same time. I can't really describe it that good, but nonetheless, I actually. Sorry, what?
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought you were saying, "Hey, try to get my attention." But anyway, so this morning being the last day, is when I finally decided to go up to her and be all like, "Hey, this is going to be my last day for a few months, but I just want to say that for the past 3 years of me consistently coming here, that you are the prettiest girl that I've ever seen walk through these halls." And she was like, "Oh, that's so sweet." And I
Did you
think
get her number?
no,
Yeah.
it feels. I feel like I squandered an opportunity right there, because I think she was even trying to like extend the conversation, but me, I was nervous, and plus the morning was getting later and later, and it was cutting it kind of short as far as me getting breakfast right before I had to get to work. So in combination of two, I kind of left a little bit too soon. I probably could have spent at least 5 more minutes. I mean, tech with it if I got to late, or excuse me, got to work late by 1 or 2 or 3 minutes or whatever. I mean, it was a rare opportunity for me, and yet I walked away just as it almost sounded like she wanted to kind of extend and hold a longer conversation. But some part of my subconscious thought that she was done, and so I was all like, "Have a happy New Year," and just walked. Sorry. What are you saying?
I said you can actually go out on New Year's, unlike me. I'll be stuck at home because of the commies.
Hey
Yeah.
guys, real quick though, I'm looking at the trending Fang Fang. It's already been co-opted by the lefties, being like, "Oh look, Fang Fang, let's talk about Trump," and it's like, you fucking Trump derangement syndrome idiots.
What? How does this relate to Trump?
They're like,
they're Swalwell did. Smallwell did. She was the spy who checked them.
No, there's a bunch of people saying, "Oh, it's only trending because of racist and racisms and bots," which I just have a thought about that. Like, if all these right wingers are both evil, racist, Nazi right wingers on Twitter and bots, like that can't be a thing. They're either bots or they're actual evil, meanie, evil people.
Right. I'm saying,
yeah.
I'm saying though. I mean, Fang Fang tends to trend whenever Eric Swalwell just says something stupid. People just like to bring that up to mock him.
Yeah.
But how is he still in Congress after literally sleeping with the Chinese Communist Party? Literally sleeping with the enemy.
I don't know. Why is it that General Milley is still a general in spite of having under the table conversations with Xi, warning him that hey, Trump might be considering war or whatever the exact dialogue was.
Oh my God! You know why?
It wasn't
Do you
with
guys
Xi
know?
Jinping himself. It was with a general in the People's Liberation Army.
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
You know
Okay.
why Fang Fang is trending though?
Why?
Why?
Because he's trying to claim that somebody threatened his life over Twitter DMs and that it's Tucker Carlson's fault. This is going to turn into a DNC, we need to regulate Fox News talking point.
What a fucking loser. God, I can't stand that guy.
What do you want to bet that this is actually
Who said that?
Account that he had messaged him and this is all made up bullshit?
Swalwell.
Swalwell is the guy who said.
Yeah, he's claiming somebody sent him a death threat and that he got in contact with the person, and it turns out it's all Tucker Carlson's fault.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I
therefore,
buy that.
so
As
therefore,
much
this
as
is
I
going to be
buy
used as a wedge to try and sue Fox News out of existence.
Or an excuse to regulate them. And the thing too is like, look, Tucker Carlson is a bit of a firebrand, but he isn't a violent radical.
No.
All right.
So, yeah.
Oh man, that sort of reminds me. There was this one particular Twitter socialist. Actually, I do not know if it's appropriate to mention it in this live stream.
Yeah, better not. To.
Never mind.
But yeah, it's always when Swalwell does something stupid or undignified that Fang trends.
So you mean Fang must trend all the time?
Pretty much, she trends all the time. She's Twitter famous. Yeah, I love that image of Eric Smallwell, and it has an image of Fang with her fingers small. That's hilarious. That was hilarious.
No, he doesn't. Zio Gold is saying Tucker Carlson thinks all trans people are like Chris Chan. He doesn't think that. He spoke provocatively about the Chris Chan thing.
Yeah, he didn't
but
say
he did
all
make some
trans people were like Chris Chan. I mean, he said he was criticizing putting Chris Chan in a woman's prison, which
he was talking about how Chris Chan's behavior was enabled by the modern left's obsession with glorifying mental illness.
I will say one thing that makes me not really care for Tucker Carlson is mainly his economic talking points about how we need to regulate automation and possibly even advocate for UBI or something like that.
I generally have leaned towards that, to be honest. I generally think we do need to regulate automation because these companies, what they're doing with people's data is actually quite dangerous.
Oh, when it comes to the data stuff and whatnot, I think it needs to be, as far as that stuff to go, the regulation needs to be more like Sweden, where basically you can cut off them from having your data at any point in time, and you can legally force them to purge their data on you.
Oh, we need that in the States.
Yeah. But
we absolutely need that in the States.
Good luck with that, though. You know? All right. Well, I got to head out, guys. It's been good talking to you.
Yeah,
it's been fantastic.
This live stream to an end. Thanks for supporting me while I'm in this miserable communist state.
You mean this wonderful communist state?
You're very welcome, Loudmouth. You're very welcome.
Communism infecting my body, though. I don't like it.
The communists are literally inside of you. It's reverse Fang.
Yeah, I do not like this virus one bit. I'm hoping I'm better soon.
Alrighty, well, I got to get going, but seriously, nice talking to you guys.
Nice talking
to you.
See you later,
Trucker.
See y'all later.
Bye-bye.